And now let's give her a warm brunch bunch. Welcome to Miss Chiara G. Hey, Chiara, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So I bumped into you on Instagram actually,
Okay.
and I just saw you doing amazing things and wanted to connect with you. One of the things I saw you were helping people with their credit
hmm
and all of those things. So just tell our listeners what it is that you do and how you're helping to change lives.
All right. Well, where do I start? Because I do a lot of things, but most importantly, I have, for the past few years, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I was corporate for about 2 or 3 years straight out of college. I went ahead and was like, you know what, this isn't really for me. So I started doing little businesses here and there, and at that point, I was doing pretty well with the side hustles, if you will.
hmm
So I said, well, if I put as much time as I do into my corporate job, my 8 hours a day, and if I put that same time into my own business, I probably can create way more opportunities for myself financially and things of that such. So that's pretty much where iGoalDig came into part. I started making T-shirts. It started as a T-shirt line. The T-shirt line consisted of different shirts that had inspirational quotes or, just things to keep women motivated. From there, plenty of women used to reach out to me and ask me like, well, how did you get started? Pretty much started asking me for business advice. And me being the entrepreneurial spirit, having the entrepreneurial spirit that I have, I said, okay, let me turn that into a business as well. And that's when I started doing workshops. Actually, I first started doing my first workshop with my good friend Demi. We did a workshop to help women start their own business. We were pretty much just given the game, and we were just like, hey, this is what you can do. We had panels where we brought on different women throughout the city who had their own business or were just, pretty successful. And we used them to help motivate other women in the city. And from there, it just went on. I started doing my own workshops with iGoalDig, and I turned that into also a consulting service. So I would do one-on-ones with different women and men as well, but my focus was more so Black women. But and I would coach them throughout their startups, and it's just been going great from there. I recently, well, it hasn't even been that recent. Now that I think about it, it's been almost 2 years. I have my real estate license, so I'm licensed in the state of Georgia. So, and I'm going to be licensed here in Chicago. I had just kind of, I do so much. I just try to, stay focused. But I'm going to also be licensed here in Chicago, but I'm a real estate agent. I'm a tax professional. I have 2 tax offices, one here in Chicago on 92nd and Commercial, and then I have another one in Atlanta. So, and from there, it's just every year I'm trying to do something different, but my focus is more the financial services. I got that from my dad. Pretty much we sell insurance, we offer credit repair, we offer financial coaching, obviously real estate services, and our biggest thing is the tax preparation services.
So how long have you been in business?
I've been in business for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so I stopped working for my corporate job, I would say December 2012.
So how was that? Because most people are afraid of stepping out on faith and leaving a 9 to 5 and that guaranteed income. You know what? We got Chiara. So Chiara was telling us now she stepped out on faith 6 years ago and quit her job and started a business full time. So I was asking for a lot of people, the number one issue in starting a business is taking that leap of faith like you did. So how were you able to do that?
Okay, so how I did that. So I was actually doing pretty well at my job. It's not that I disliked it, it just wasn't for me. And so I would,
It was a job.
It was a job, and I just didn't like the idea of that. I felt pretty restrained, and I'm a creative person. I'm a go-getter, and I just kind of didn't feel like that the job that I had was, using all that I had to offer. So anyway, the way I stepped out on faith is I kind of threw the idea out there to my parents first. And I let them know, like, you know what, this really isn't for me. Do you think that I should, because I was selling hair. That was one of my side hustles. I was selling hair, and I did really, really well selling the hair. And I'm like, maybe I'll just sell hair for a living. I don't know. My parents were like, I don't think so. And so that was kind of discouraging. I mean, they supported me doing that, but they didn't think that I should quit. a great job to sell hair. And I'm like, no, it's a lot of other things that I can do. I just feel like if I just hustle it out, I can do this. And at that time, I didn't have a kid. I have a 4-year-old now, but at that time, I was single. I just bought a home. It was just me. So I didn't feel like I had much. I don't
No
have
restraints.
anybody depending
Right.
on me. This is gonna work out. And so I just prayed about it. I fasted. I did everything. From just really, and then at that, what you really have to do sometimes is not share what you want to do with everybody.
Yep.
And that's what I learned. And my parents love me to death. And don't get me wrong, they're always have been very supportive of me. But what I found was is that sometimes when you share what you're trying to do, people may discourage you, not purposely, but sometimes like, girl, you sure that's what you want to do? Are you, does that seem like, the best thing to do? Because that's the job you have is, a lot of people can't work there or do what you do. So, you just want to give that up. And I'm like, well, God has always been, he's always favored me. I've always been blessed. I mean, I stay prayed up. So I don't feel like, if I leave, I can't go somewhere else or come back. So I just went ahead and I went for it. Now, I did it in a little, I used to say I was cheating on my job. So I used to take a lot of days
I like
off.
that.
I like that too.
I used to cheat on them. So at work, I'll still be doing, my other business
Prayer
stuff.
warriors pray
Oh,
for she's
yeah.
a cheater. No, I'm just
Yes, just a little bit. So, no.
Obviously, it paid off.
Right.
So I would cheat on my job. And then at some point, I just say, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. I was only, 20, 21? So I'm like, you know what? Bye. That's it. And they said I can come back if I wanted to, so I left on a good note,
Good.
And you really have to do that, because some people are like, I'm just going to quit today. I ain't never coming back. You can totally do that. Me, I'm a little punk about it, so I said, I'm just going to explore different opportunities, with different careers, and I just want to know that I can come back if I need to.
No, you did it the right way.
Yeah, and so 6 years later, I haven't worked for anyone in 6 years.
So you haven't had to call them back.
Never had to call them back.
You said something that most people don't realize, being an entrepreneur takes a lot of great faith, and you have to see what you see even when you can't physically see it. So when you share it with somebody, if they don't see what you see, I see millions of dollars down the line. But they're not physically here. But when I share with somebody else, they don't see that. They might not even see $10 down the line.
Exactly.
So of course they tend to discourage, and although they love us, they just want us to be dope and lit and work the 9 to 5. But it's faith. So your faith journey, I know, is inspiring. I know my Facebook Live listeners are saying amen, and this is true. So, and Tamara is an entrepreneur, the entrepreneur.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say this. My grandmother said to me when I bought my very first school, she said, why are you doing that? What you need to be finding is a husband.
Oh.
Okay, well, I had a lot of those. And I still got my school.
Yes.
So the school is still there. The husbands have been coming and going.
Got that right.
It's like that.
And that's the way it is.
Well,
But it is important for you to materialize, realize, and visualize your own dreams. And I agree with you. Sometimes it's not, how you have certain girlfriends you're going to share certain things with, because you know what basically the kind of response you're going to get.
Yep.
You know who to share with, and you know who to save that from. But
Absolutely.
if you're good enough to you, you're good enough.
what I like about what you're doing is, not only did you step out on faith, you took a faith walk and journey, you've been successful in it, and now you're trying to teach others how to do the same. So can you talk about how you do that and what outlets you use to help other people? I know you talk a little more about iGoalDig.
Okay.
Right. Dig.
And that's really important, because if you look at you, because you're a beautiful young woman.
Thank you.
If you look at you and you hear that, you think, oh God, she's a gold digger.
Right, that's why I
And
said
she is.
goal.
For the goals.
You set the goals and meet the goals.
There you go.
Absolutely. Okay, so with iGoalDig, as I mentioned before, it started off as a t-shirt line, but once people started reaching out to me like, oh, you're doing pretty well with that. How did that, how can I get started? And I'm like, okay, I would give little tidbits here and there, but once I saw opportunity to make it bigger, like, you know what, maybe I can just use some type of vehicle to make it even bigger. So I'll do the workshops, and that's what I said. I started doing the workshops. I would promote one-on-ones, like, hey, if we could do a monthly retainer here, and I could, walk you through for the next 90 days on how you can start up your business. And so I turned that into a business. But besides that, I mean, I do mentorship here and there. But I try to, basically offer information. I try to do videos on my social media platforms to kind of give little, advice and motivation behind it. But my main thing is to get back into doing the workshops. I haven't done them in a while.
Okay.
I haven't done them in a while. After I, had my daughter and I just kind of got into the mom life, I kind of, took a little break, a little bit, if you will. I still did the one-on-one coaching, but I hadn't did the events. But that's really my main thing because I always get a good, good amount of people to come out. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I'll start doing that again. So I do have something that I'll be doing probably in the next month or so. I can't really say too much right now because it's still
drop the exclusive right here on the Brunch Bunch.
I want to, but I'm working on something now, and I think it's going to be pretty cool, and it'll allow a lot of women here in the city of Chicago to come out, network, get together, share, positivity, motivation, everything like that. So I am going to be doing something before fall.
Well, I'm proud of you, and I want you to
too.
continue to keep inspiring, igniting young people, any people,
to
get
exactly.
their dreams going. Sometimes it just takes that push to start it.
And
then you can just keep on moving down. But like I said to you, if you're good enough to you, you're good enough. Like Tim Bowman said, I'm good. Super excited to have our in-studio guest, young entrepreneur who is blazing a trail for others to follow. You keep following your dreams and keep making new dreams. I am a goal digger.
Yes.
And I love that name. Goals. That's what we need. Every day you should have personal goals. And at the end of the day, you should see how far you are or if you've met those personal goals and then check them off and make what? New goals. Back to you, little big shot.
The one herself, key to success. Key, if you could give if you can drop a tidbit for somebody right now, just something for the entrepreneur, the aspiring entrepreneur listening right now, what would you tell them to do?
Follow your dreams, follow your heart. Don't let other people discourage you because everybody doesn't see your vision. And one thing you can't do, you can't force people to see your vision. So if it's in your heart, just go ahead and follow your own lead at times. Like because like I said before, when I had other people giving me their advice, I took that into consideration, even subconsciously. You're just like, oh, maybe that doesn't sound right. Follow your own dreams. Follow your heart. If it feels right to you, it's right.
Now, my mentors always say I don't listen to them. Mm-hmm. And I've always been one. I started my first business at 15, so I've always just been one to have a mind of my own. But you said something. You got to listen. I always listen. I might not act on it right away, but whatever they're saying, I'm taking it into consideration. I'm processing it, and I'm moving forward. And when I believe something that they say helps and works, I do it. Yep. So if somebody wanted to work with you, and they say, well, Key, I have the vision, I have the dream, but I'm discouraged. I have nobody to talk to. I have nobody to inspire me. Tamara is my inspiration in business now. I can talk to her, and she gives me the real every time. So if they wanted somebody to connect with you, how could they connect with you?
The best way to connect with me is via my social media platforms. Instagram is where I'm most active, so if you wanted to reach out to me personally, you can send me a message through my Instagram, which is at KI2success, so that's Key to Success. There's an email tab on my page, so you can directly email me from there, or my business page, iGoalDig. They both have direct email links, so you can directly email me.
And they'll be able to work with you directly if needed. They can hire you as a coach, a success coach.
They can hire me as a coach. If it's something quick, you can hire me for 30 seconds for free.
Oh, all right.
30 minutes for free.
Oh, 30, I said 30 seconds.
30 minutes for free.
Right.
Yeah. 30 minutes for free. I can hop on the phone. I can do a whole full layout of strategies that I can offer. So it's it's easy.
Only 30 minutes, or can I call every day for 30 minutes?
Nope.
No, don't try it. You tried it.
Look,
What's next?
Somebody listening thought that.
Get out of here. What's next for you, sweetheart?
What's next for me? So, like I just said, I'm going to try to, I'm working right now to get my real estate license here in Chicago as well, because I have a big network here. And in Atlanta, I do well there, but I need to expand that to help my community purchase homes and become homeowners. So that's a big thing for me right now. And then I also have an event that'll be coming up, and then like I said before fall, where we're going to be reaching out to different women in Chicago. It's going to be a women empowerment event, but it's going to be truly different than what we've been bringing to the city lately. So it's going to be really cool.
And you have to come back and announce it
Oh,
so
yeah,
that other
for
people
sure.
can partake in
Yep,
it.
for sure.
We are definitely praying for your continued
Thank
success.
you so much.
Listen, you got